And welcome back to the Uncool Show. I'm Dylan.
I'm Nathan.
And Merry Christmas. You know, starting with last week was our Die Hard extravaganza. Well, this week technically was our Die Hard extravaganza, and we've decided to move on to even more of a holiday classic
and a movie of equal quality. Some might say.
I think most people would agree that Die Hard and the movie that we're covering today, Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sinbad, and the late great Phil Hartman, and the still alive Rita Wilson. Yeah, they are pretty much the same. They're the same movie.
Think about it.
They're the same movie, actually, not just in quality, but in thematic intent and thematic follow through
and craft
style. Yeah, Jingle All the Way. It's a movie that we've probably seen this movie a lot.
At least every Christmas for a long time.
Usually a couple times each Christmas as a kid.
Crazy. Yeah, I've probably seen this movie over like 20 times.
Yeah, I think we definitely have. It was definitely in the pantheon of holiday movies for us.
Absolutely.
As kids, whenever this part of the year would roll around and there were options at the end of the day to what movie we were going to watch as a family, this was a big part.
A big VHS classic.
And it's not good. This is
not a good movie.
Not a B movie. This is a C movie, bordering on lower than that. It's not good, but man, it is funny at times if you buy into it. There are some clever interactions and some clever moments, usually from Phil Hartman's character or from Sinbad's character. But again, talk just a bit about, I guess, the plot of this movie and what you think of when Jingle All the Way gets brought,
I love how we're talking.
Brought up.
We're trying to talk about this movie like we've talked about other movies, but
I know.
We'll do our best, even though this is tough. So this movie is just, I don't know, it's basically based off of the Tickle Me Elmo toy craze of the 90s.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yep. Parents trying all they can to get these toys for their kids, and stores selling out of these toys, and it becoming a massive, U.S. craze for a lot of these things. And I think that's where the germ of this movie is from. And then
it is intended to be kind of a commentary on consumerism.
Yep.
And to what degree it accomplishes that.
Right. It's kind of it's very half-baked.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Only in the end do you get I don't need the toy. I just want to spend
family.
time with my dad and my family.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of the movie, though, he's clamoring for Turboman everything, and not only he needs to see his dad in the Turboman suit by the end to fully get the bigger picture
of what life is really about.
Right. And to put this movie into perspective, not only does it have ties to real world things back in the mid to late 90s, this is also a massive star vehicle for Arnold Schwarzenegger, who in the 90s was transitioning into being into more comedies and more light feeling movies, and he was a massive box office draw. This movie made a ton of money.
It did
for
make
the time.
A ton of money.
And we don't want to make it seem like, this was kind of like a niche family movie of ours. Everyone's seen Jingle All the Way, I would say.
It was a big deal. And it was always on TV too. It was always on ABC Family.
Cable classic.
There was always, around this time of year, multiple networks were playing Jingle All the Way.
Yep.
For some reason, it's still to this day, it still pops up on cable. It really has some staying power around this time of year, which I don't know if that speaks more to how paint by numbers a lot of Christmas movies are.
Yeah,
or just to, I don't know, audiences did kind of grab onto something about this movie. Critically reviled,
but like we said before, big box office hit, and everyone was wanting to see Arnie on the big screen in the 90s. And you also have comedy stars like Sinbad for the time, and Phil Hartman, and some people that pop in and out of the movie. But yeah, this is a really strange movie that it's only we marveled before we just watched the movie. It's only an hour and a half long, and that's
89
with
minutes.
credits.
Yeah.
And it really moves. It
And make sure you
by.
stay through those credits
Yes,
too.
there is a really important post-credit scene.
Maybe like a Avengers
I
level,
was just gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel, the Marvel exec saw this movie and said, "You know what movie did this first?
How and Howard will return in Avengers Doomsday.
In Jingle All the Way too."
Jingle.
What other hijinks will Howard get into? No, but this movie, it's just light fun. If you don't take it too seriously, it's a great time.
It's literally just dad is too busy for his family.
Right.
His son wants this doll. This is my time to shine. And that's really the only plot point, like the only driving force of the movie.
And I mean, the main bulk of the movie is just him going to different stores and encountering different people.
Having different interactions with Sinbad mainly.
And the people from the stores and the toy cartels run by the underground Santa community.
Yeah.
And this movie is just, on its face, it is absurd and absolutely ridiculous, but it's a lot. It is just, like we said, it's a lot of fun. And it is kind of this cult classic now where it does harken back to a time where this movie had a massive budget.
Yep.
And also
60 to 75 million dollars.
right. Budget. And obviously it's really high concept.
Yeah.
It had nothing like that had been done before, and even if it's done poorly, they did take this massive swing.
They did. Yeah.
Like you said, it's a cable classic, was a VHS classic. For I'm sure a lot of families, not just us, and I think we were in the sweet spot of that generation that kind of grew up with this movie.
Yeah, for sure. It as we said, a Schwarzenegger vehicle. He was the only one up for the role, apparently. Right before, we were in the middle of watching it. I'm like, there had to have been other names.
No one else.
But this was designed for Arnold. But he's not very good. He's not. He's doing what Arnold can do.
He's not a credible, like, warm dad type.
No.
Obviously, you have the accent, but you also have obviously everyone looks like he is built for action movies. He has the body, the physicality. He's
towering over everybody in this
and you're
movie.
like, I don't buy you for a second. I appreciate the effort though. Yep. And he obviously has so much charisma, and obviously his whole demeanor and star persona is built around his kind of otherworldly aspect about him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, obviously from a different country and coming here, he's got to start in these, big time action movies that catapulted his career into being like a leading man in a kids movie.
Yep. And they give him some action stuff to do in this movie too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like weird set pieces where he's running around or crawling around, or the big set piece at the end, which I don't want to spoil for you if you haven't seen this movie. It gets pretty crazy at the end. But he's not, even though he's the lead, he's not really the pull of this movie for you and I, or for our mom, or for our siblings. It's always kind of been Sinbad and Phil Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
Their characters, Myron and Ted. Myron, played by Sinbad, is a UPS worker who's also trying his best to get this doll for his kid. But he's a lot more dysfunctional than Howard is. Compared to Schwarzenegger's Howard, he's a genuine, insane madman.
He's unhinged.
Yeah. He has a lot of interesting things to say in his little rants, which are funny. And some of his rants, I don't know if they were written that way or he kind of took some of them.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were improv.
But whatever these rants are, they're very well done and very well delivered by Sinbad. And Myron is a really fun character who, even though he is the villain of this movie, so to speak, which he isn't really the villain, but he kind of is. You do root for him, because he's having so much fun. His lines are so weird, and his character is such a loser that you're like, oh, come on.
You feel bad for him.
You do kind of feel bad for him. And on the flip side of that, the other draw for us has always been Phil Hartman as the neighbor Ted. Phil Hartman, if people aren't familiar, because he's been gone for such a long time now, and he wasn't as famous as some other people that people might know, but Phil Hartman was a brilliant comedic actor who was taken way too soon, and definitely would have done some really cool comedic work moving forward. he's maybe in this movie for 10 to 15 minutes, but every single line that Hartman is given, most of which are pretty inconsequential. His delivery and his cadence, he still finds a way to get a laugh out of pretty much every line that he has, which is a real testament to Phil. Nathan and I both love Phil Hartman. I know, even though his body of work was so small, we reference him and we do little Hartmanisms all the time.
His voice is so eminently, like it is
eminently him.
It's so eminently him, and it's inherently tied to him. And he has this like put upon voice. I can't do a Phil impression.
Nobody can do Phil.
It's like this put upon, like, "Hi, how you doing, guy?" Like that kind of that style of like
All-American neighbor, like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons type of energy.
And he was a big Simpson voice in the 90s. And like obviously the people behind the scenes saw he could do this voice that like fake Americanism.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's like, someone behind him is fake behind his
eyes.
Very
cheesy and corny.
Yeah.
And like you said, put upon. But yeah, Hartman, I mean, that wasn't Hartman did a ton of different voices, but that was his main comedic voice. And he's used really well here. Ted is like this, not a womanizer, but all the women want him to be a womanizer.
He's like the middle-aged bachelor.
He's a middle-aged bachelor. He just divorced his wife.
In suburban Minneapolis.
And he is a very theatrical, very like trying to prove himself to not to every woman. He's really just trying to prove himself to Rita Wilson. He's trying to prove to her that he's a man worth taking a shot on, and it causes his character to act and do really funny things. And his interactions, not only with Rita Wilson and the kids, but the other ladies in the neighborhood are really funny, and Nathan and I always get a kick out of that. There's not much to say about Hartman in this movie, but talk a little bit more about just, I don't know, I guess his SNL run a little bit, and just how his brand of comedy really hasn't been replicated. You know,
it's really hard.
A lot of SNL guys talk about him and revere him, and so his comedy does kind of filter down through. But he's one. I mean, he goes underappreciated, you know, because so few people know about his influence on comedy. But if you were a comedy nerd in the '90s or the early 2000s at all, even after he passed, because he passed in the '90s, there were still reverberating, you know, impacts of him and. I guess some of his SNL characters that maybe people might be aware of.
Well, back in the old SNL days, he was known as the Glue. People called him that. He kind of held every sketch together, whether it was tanking or not. And he was in the middle of a lot of, awesome sketches, but also like sketches that maybe not necessarily totally
got
big or went on to have a following. But he's always so committed. And when you said like characters, I'm like, yeah, he has some characters like people like he played like Frankenstein in a sketch that caused him to break. He had like Neanderthal, like the lawyer, which was a big one.
He did Clinton for a long time.
His Clinton. There is a skit that I think is on YouTube, or maybe it was taken down, of Clinton going to McDonald's.
Yeah, that's his legendary.
Which is a great one. And he was just everyone's favorite person on SNL, and he was very idiosyncratic in his style and in his voices.
Very unique guy, for sure.
I am pretty sure he wrote a lot of his own material and
he was
helped
the head writer
others.
when he was there too.
And so that just tells you how much Lorne Michaels trusted him. And he was just a really weird guy behind the scenes too. Pretty, what would you say? Like pretty quiet, reserved.
Yeah, very much to himself. Not antisocial, but was there to do the work. And famously didn't really like the SNL environment of like competition and toxicity. He was just there to do comedy. But I forced this sidebar just because so few people know about Phil, and if you haven't heard of Phil Hartman, definitely look him up. You'll probably recognize him, but he was taken too soon, and it's just a shame that this is one of the only few movies that you can really get a meaty amount of time from him in. It's just such a lowbrow movie at the end of the day. But he was such a highbrow performer, and he really elevates every scene that he's in this, as does Sinbad. Sinbad is great in this, and I don't know as much about Sinbad's run in the 90s, but I do know that he carries this movie, and this movie doesn't work if it's just Arnie doing this by himself. That charm would really grow old quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But with Sinbad's weird, like manic, zany energy, it kind of balances out how boring Schwarzenegger's Howard is as a character. And again, I don't. This movie doesn't work already, but if you get rid of Sinbad and Hartman, this pretty much becomes unwatchable.
Yep.
You know. What other redeeming factors of this are there to you other than those two very brilliant comedic minds?
I mean, what we were saying before, we were looking at some of the craftspeople involved. Like, this movie is shot pretty well.
It is shot very well. That's right.
The editing is fun. I don't like. There's only so many things you can say. Like, I think some of the sequences are genuinely fun and funny, but we forget to mention there's a really funny Chris Parnell cameo, another SNL legend, sort of a similar Hartman-esque type, where he was sort of a glue in some sketches that otherwise people wouldn't remember.
Never were, yeah.
And he was always pretty straight-laced and never really broke. Similar to Hartman. Hartman only did it a couple times. Like, I could probably count on my hands the number of fun little cameos. We forgot to mention Martin Mull, who is the disc jockey.
Yep, Martin Mull was great in his little role.
Who is, for us, also known as Gene Parmesan from Arrested Development.
Yep. And legendary Private Eye.
Yep. And so it is fun to see like these comedic actors that are either past their prime or about to hit big.
Yep.
And I want to say a little bit about Sinbad. You know, Dylan and I and our family have a relationship to Sinbad, and Phil Hartman, not only through this movie, but also through, I think it was made in 1995, House Guest, which is really another not very good movie.
It's better than this.
It's better than this, I will say, and funnier.
Yeah.
Ironically, that is Sinbad and Phil Hartman as like co-leads.
Yep.
Which
really
really weird.
Somehow.
This movie was made in '96, a year later, and it's really Phil's only lead movie. You know, he didn't really get an opportunity to do that, and he kind of bloomed late. He was in his like late 30s when he got on SNL.
Yep.
And so, like you said, taken way too soon. But with that, he just bloomed late and really started to hit it big when he was like in middle age. Yeah. And unfortunately, he did not get the opportunities that a lot of other great SNL people did. Like,
I don't know if he would have been as popular as like a Will Ferrell, but he definitely has that like level of ability in terms of comedic improv and in terms of like weird, like a one-of-one type energy, which is always what, you know, you want as a comedian. And Sinbad to me has that too. I don't know as much about him, but he is to me a very unique performer, both in this movie and in House Guest, which I'm sure we'll get to House Guest eventually.
We need to.
But yeah, kind of unfortunate that Sinbad and Phil don't have a scene together in this movie.
No.
After like, you think they would have found a way. But I get, you know, especially in a movie this like haphazard. You know?
They're both kind of play these like villain. Oh, I think Ted is especially villainous. He's kind of gross and pervy, and
you're supposed to feel worse for Sinbad. I think.
Sinbad is a little sadder. There's a lot of like class warfare stuff happening with like these two dads intersecting. One big business, one the working class hero type.
He also talks a lot about his relationship with his father and how he never forgave his father.
And then there's this sequence when Howard is looking back at him and they're in this diner after Sinbad's telling Howard about his story. Basically.
He's just drinking alcohol straight from it's like whiskey or you know.
And it cuts back to Jake Lloyd, who plays Arnold's son. Here's to you, Dad, and then takes a big swig, and Arnold is like, what am I doing? Like, I need to get this toy or else he's going to end up...
like Myron.
He's going to end up in a blue-collar job.
He's going to end up a mail worker like Myron. Yeah.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah, that's
anything but that.
That's what breaks him free from his hold.
Ridiculous. We just mentioned Jake Lloyd. I just want to get into this Jake Lloyd thing a little bit in terms of his 90s. So Jake Lloyd does Jingle All the Way. And then in 1999, he's in the probably most anticipated movie of all time, in The Phantom Menace.
Yep.
And I couldn't help but thinking of like George Lucas and his kids watching this movie together, holiday season '96, and going, that kid.
That's Anakin.
Obviously, that's not what happened. They probably went through tons of kids in
probably
camera tests, hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
I just think that it's funny seeing this kid, who I don't think is the best actor, even as a little kid.
You don't have to be as a kid in this type of movie, though.
I think he was
Anakin is a different thing.
He was given too much
Yeah.
This early, and obviously it reverberated into him having mental health issues. And it's really unfortunate to see what Jake Lloyd has gone through throughout his pretty young life still.
Yeah, people were very awful to him.
Especially after Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it's not his fault that he got cast. It's not his fault that George Lucas can't write dialogue to save his life.
And can't direct actors.
And can't direct actors. I mean, even Ewan McGregor. Like I've seen things throughout the years where Ewan's like, people have no idea what was going on there. We're just doing it, seeing what happened. You know, I mean, I think what happened to Jake Lloyd is definitely unfortunate. And no, he's not like he's not like a River Phoenix and Stand By Me or anything like that. But he's a cute, charming kid, and that's all you really need from him in this movie.
And he's given a lot to do in this movie.
Especially
he really
at the
is.
End. Yeah.
He's in the middle of this big action sequence.
Yeah.
I mean, he is given a lot on his plate, and he has to act opposite of Schwarzenegger, who is so intimidating and imposing as an actor. And I can assume kind of hard to bounce off of. Arnold
Especially
is not.
for a child.
Arnold is like a little kid, not the most like natural actor.
Yeah.
You know, and that's unfortunate. But no, I just wanted that 3-year period from Jingle all the way to 1999 and 96 to 1999 Phantom Menace. Jake Lloyd is in the most anticipated movie of all time.
Of all time.
And
he was the poster of that movie.
Right, he was part of the poster and part of the marketing, and it's just unfortunate to see where his career and life has gone. Not to bring the pod down, but I think it's interesting to like look at and reflect on.
Like you said, you know, given way too much, way too young, and like giving that child the origin story to like the most famous movie villain of all time.
It's crazy.
And you know, there's a lot of lines in the Phantom Menace that they wouldn't work even if that kid was played by a River Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I love Star Wars and I grew up on Star Wars, but George Lucas isn't exactly a genius when it comes to writing dialogue. I think he's very smart when it comes to world building.
Mm-hmm.
And set pieces, and I think he's pretty solid with action at times.
And like a plot outline. Like he knows how to tell a good story for the most part. That's what makes the prequel trilogy at least watchable.
Yeah, he has a great sense of like the hero's journey, and you know, all of these like writing tropes, so to speak.
Yeah, we're on a George Lucas sidebar and a Jingle All the Way pod.
I know.
I mean, this movie is just kind of hard. Like we talked about with Die Hard, you know, it's kind of a hard movie to pod about because you're like, oh, that little quirky moment I really like, and I think it's really funny. But like maybe not it's so subjective. Maybe not everyone would like that. And I'm sure for some people watching this is like, like seeing paint dry. They're like, this is awful.
It is a bad movie,
and it was critically ravaged. It's a bad movie. Time. It's a bad movie.
But it's one of those bad movies that you can put on and just turn your brain off. If you have kids, like young kids love this movie. We loved this movie as kids. We never had any like inkling of like
the actual quality
of any like we just loved the zany action. We loved Sinbad, and we still do love Sinbad in this movie. As kids, we really still loved Phil Hartman, even though most of his comedy is like very adult in this movie.
Yes,
like you said, very sexual in nature.
He's gross.
He's being like a creepy...
He's predatory.
Predatory type.
Rita Wilson.
Who is in this movie, kind of.
A thankless role.
It's crazy how like... You could have hired anybody to do this.
They probably paid her a good amount of money to do absolutely nothing. They just probably wanted this somewhat big name.
Good for her. Get your money, but they don't let... I don't even know... What's her character's name in this?
Liz.
They don't give Liz a whole lot to do.
No, they give her nothing to do. She's pretty one note.
No characterization at all.
Nope.
You don't know anything about her.
I'm the wife who wants my husband at home and to spend more time with the kid.
On Christmas Eve.
There's no nuance to that character, unfortunately.
No.
And that's partly why, you know, when you look at the actual characters, they're really flat. Mm-hmm. They're so flat and uninspired.
the only character that you like actually learn anything about is Sinbad.
Exactly.
Because when he's drinking, he's talking about his childhood.
Yeah.
And it's really dumb. It's wrapped up in this Johnny Seven, one-man army action gun
whatever
or whatever
toy
whatever
they made
toy.
up for this movie.
Yeah. But that little bit of like dialogue is the only thing you get from any character about motivation or like this is why I am the way I am. And it's just Sinbad talking about how he didn't get a toy for Christmas and his neighbor did get the toy. And his neighbor became a billionaire and I became a mailman. And I'm just a loser. It's like, well, that's like the only bit of exposition in the movie.
We never get any exposition about Howard or his career. It's like, I'm just a businessman.
You don't even know what he's doing.
He's like selling mattresses.
Is that what he's doing?
Did you see like his spreadsheet in the beginning of the movie? I noticed it this time.
Yeah.
He's like selling mattresses. Like, I'm sure he's in charge of some like department store, whatever. It's so convoluted and it's not really part of the movie. But yeah, you have no idea what he does. You get the sense that he's just like corporate sellout.
Yeah.
Which, you know what I mean? And I think his wife also feels that way, but there's no real explanation into that at all. And it makes him, I mean, obviously this movie doesn't care about getting into the nitty gritty of this man's career and the corporate sellout aspect of his character. It cares about how do we get this guy in a zany situation? You know, what kind of wacky hijinks can we put Arnold in? But
it's just very strange that they would give that moment to Sinbad then. You know,
I agree.
all you would need is a moment of Arnold being like, my family didn't have money. I grew up this way. I just want to make sure that, my wife and son always don't have to worry about money. That's all, like a 5-second little, but they give it to Sinbad, which is very strange. Mm-hmm. Again, like you said, you're not meant to like get to know Howard, and which was probably for the better because Schwarzenegger isn't going to be able to sell any character moment in this movie. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just a really wacky holiday movie that has a little bit to say. Tiny bit to say, probably even less than it thinks it has to say. Mm-hmm. But in the midst of that, there are some really funny sequences. The Martin Mull radio sequence, there's a lot of fun with the bomb hoax.
Yeah.
Everything at the Mall of America with trying to get like the lottery ball and that whole chase sequence and everything with Sinbad and the big crowd of people. There are some funny moments. The last set piece is
Probably soaked up a lot of the budget.
Big, and has a lot of things going on in it.
We have not mentioned the man, the myth, Jim Belushi.
Oh, that's
who
right.
Gets the and James Belushi in the opening credits, who is fun. He has a pretty small role as like this cartel Santa who Arnold meets in the Mall of America, and he says, I'm gonna get you this toy, this black market toy. And they eventually go to this huge warehouse where, I mean, Arnold is seeing like their operation. They're like these fake toys.
And it's funny because like all of the workers at this warehouse are either like elderly people or little people.
Right.
There's no in between. There's like,
you get all the
and by little I mean like dwarf people with dwarfism. It's either all little people or really old people who are like retiree age who are like trying to get money for Christmas. It's such a funny thing.
Talk about a convoluted sequence where you're like, I do not get anything what's happening here.
I loved it as a kid though.
It's fun. It is fun. Some of the action is genuinely fun. Like we were marveling at this huge guy who plays like this Jack Santa. And
the Big Show in the WWE.
That guy must have been a wrestler, and sure enough, he was.
7'2".
He's crazy.
I'm gonna deck your halls, Bob. I mean, there's parts of that sequence where Arnold is like punching little people, and they fly away, like 100 feet through the air. Man. He's like throwing that one elf, and he just there's no sense of like gravity.
He takes Jim Belushi's beard and stretches it out, and it hits him. And then Jim Belushi does these like tumbles and flips,
like he got hit with like a
hits
car.
A pole. He hits a pole. He hits a pole and get him.
But no, Belushi is kind of like. This is perfect for him. Just like a chain smoking, like 5 o'clock shadow Santa Claus who's like working out of like a chop shop warehouse. He actually does kind of work in this, and I'm glad you remembered him.
It's like sleazeball. You're like, I don't trust this guy. He's gross.
He ends up selling Howard like a Mexican version of Turboman that's like not put together.
Yeah, he says multilingual. It's fun and educational. You know?
Some assembly may be required.
Yeah, then yet Howard opens the box and then it just falls apart
tumbles
immediately.
apart immediately.
Yeah, and then he gives him $300
They immediately
because he's
say,
so desperate for this doll.
And immediately he's like, "Oh, no refunds.
Yep,
all sales are final." But yeah, no, there really isn't much. Again, yeah, the last sequence is big and brash and loud, and it's fun. Again, if you have kids and they haven't seen this movie, they'd probably love Jingle All the Way. It's dumb. If you're a parent, you might need some like alcoholic eggnog to get through this. Not non-alcoholic eggnog. You might need some alcoholic eggnog to get through this, but it's fun.
You could make an argument, Dylan, that in this like TikTok brain rot generation, that like attention spans are dwindling by the second. This movie actually I think would play pretty well because it really moves. It has such a good pace to it, and even though the plot makes zero sense and the characterization is null, like nothing's there, it is fun. It's funny. I'm sure you could put this on in the background and your kids would laugh at it while you're kind of sitting there like, you're just like, oh, this is just wait until they're 15, 6, like wait until they're like teenagers. They're going to realize how bad this is. Yeah. But I can't help but enjoy this movie.
Yeah, there are definitely better Christmas movies that we could have covered, and maybe the week after Christmas we'll do like It's a Wonderful Life or like something with like actual weight to the holiday season. I don't know. But Nathan and I talked about a couple of Christmas movies we could have done. We talked about doing Home Alone.
Home Alone's a big one,
which is actually a good movie.
I would like to do that next year.
And we'll get to it. But we fell upon this because if you haven't seen it, it's just such a dumb, loud experience, and that might not sell it to many people, but it is so weird and so out of left field with a couple of its choices that like movies like this just aren't made anymore.
That's a really good point.
Which isn't a good or a bad thing, I don't think. But, this is a throwback to a type of movie and to a type of time in which, definitely before social media, before like shopping on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of dates it and like puts it into a weird time category. But again, this movie isn't good. It's a C movie at best. And maybe an optimistic C movie, but it has Arnold, it has Sinbad. Again, Sinbad, I won't undersell just how much I think Sinbad is the draw of this movie. Every line, every like facial decision, every physical action that he makes does get a reaction out of me. Same with Hartman. And if you can stomach the rest of this movie, there is a couple of nuggets of really fun performances and fun improv from those guys.
I don't think you'd feel like you'd waste your time watching it. It's so short. Yeah. That's really the sell. Like it's so short.
You blink and it's over.
Yep. It is kind of like the podcast itself. Like, how did this get made? It is kind of like a weird study into.
It's like a time capsule.
Yeah. It's a true testament to Arnold's stardom.
Yeah.
Wow, you could be in anything.
Yeah.
You could be in a kids movie that made like hundreds of millions of dollars, and it worked. Yeah. But like you said, I thought it was a really good point. Like, they don't make them like they used to, and I'm not saying that I'm clamoring for like 50 Jingle All the Ways every year, but I think that a big swing like this works better than the cookie cutter like fare we usually get nowadays. And I know that's not a great selling point for a movie, but I feel like we're kind of like, this is like a testimonial.
It's a hard movie. It's a hard movie to sell.
It is a really hard movie to sell.
We watched the trailer afterwards and like tried to figure out how they marketed it. And one, they stole the Home Alone music and put that over the trailer to try to like get America involved.
And they note from the director of Home Alone, Chris Columbus, who produced this movie.
Yeah, but
he's not directed by Chris Columbus.
But they're trying to get you.
Yes.
And it made a lot of money.
It got us. It got our mom. Yep. Isn't that funny?
It was a VHS classic.
I wonder how mom found this. Like, I mean, this was a really popular movie, and I'm sure she got like the VHS for you or something.
Yeah, I vividly remember what the VHS. Yep. She probably still has it.
Arnold
somewhere.
Going like, he has his hands above his head, looking stressed out and anxious, with little Jake Lloyd on the cover too.
Well,
man.
I will say this is, again, we touched on, this is no House Guest, and maybe we will get to House Guest way down the line.
Just you wait.
But this is no House Guest. If
This
you've
is no
seen
House
that.
Guest.
House Guest, I could pot about that for an hour and a half. You gave me time. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. This is a shorter one, kind of like Die Hard. Again, there's nothing to say about this. We could have gone about Die Hard longer if we wanted to. This, we're really squeezing the towel of all moisture right now.
Like, we could go back for like an hour and a half just talking about the stupid little moments we find funny,
for
unintentional or not.
Yeah.
You know, and there's only so much. That's what makes this movie kind of hard to pot about and talk about. But I hope that whether you watch it or not, you can appreciate like our appreciation of this, and I think a lot of people's, especially during the holiday season, where it is a lot of movies with either a lot of weight to it, but
yeah, this has no weight.
This has no weight to it. It's really breezy, and you can turn your brain off while watching it.
Yep.
Like the makers of this movie, most likely.
Yeah, there's no way there was a whole lot of intent here. But yeah, if you haven't seen Jingle All the Way, I highly recommend you just give it a go. You might never watch it again, but
like we said in the beginning,
that's on you.
As good as enjoyable and as good as Die Hard.
Oh yeah,
easily.
They
should use that quote on. They should have used that on the poster.
Die Hard.
Kids, Die Hard for kids.
Die Hard for kids. The sad thing is, I've probably seen this movie way more than Die Hard.
Me too.
Probably 4 or 5 more times, like quadruple the amount.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Merry Christmas, and
happy watching.
Happy Jingle All the Way.